Welcome back to Sonic Advance 2. Last time we saved Tails from Dr. Robotnik's dastardly choker tower. And he's very happy to see us now. So yeah, here we are in Ice Paradise, and we get to witness Tails in action. So yeah, much like Cream, he is able to fly. Of course, his downside is he does not have a Chow. But then again, nobody but Cream has a Chow, which means, really, objectively, they're all worse than she is. That being said, I do actually feel like I prefer his tricks to Cream's. Sonic still feels like the best when you can actually get this game to work in your favor, but Tails has a pretty good upwards trick. His sideways isn't too bad either, he has that little tail boost. But yeah, he goes straight up, and he gets a pretty good amount of height, too. Let's see, weave our way through these guys. Right, so, unless I'm about to fly, skip that. I've been, I think, pretty positive about this game so far, despite the fact that it's really not my favorite. I feel like I can definitely have fun with this game to an extent. I'm definitely better at it than I was as a child. Like I said, I didn't like playing as Sonic. And the next stage is the one that really hammered that home to me. But, you know, I kinda just flew my way through a lot of these stages, so I certainly never saw the true final boss. And... oh, there we go. Like I said before, flying doesn't kill all of your momentum. I was able to keep a little bit of it there since I, you know, flew forward. But it definitely killed a little bit of my speed. Anyway, though, where was I? Right, so, yeah, the next zone is absolutely my least favorite, because it just made me feel like Sonic wasn't particularly worthwhile to play. And I just preferred kind of skipping everything with the flight abilities. And I do remember unlocking the sort of last character, so I had to have gotten through the next zone as Sonic. But also, man, I feel like I wasn't able to get through the whole game as Sonic. I might have actually gotten to the regular final zone, and just not been able to complete it as Sonic. I don't quite remember, but either way though, yeah. I definitely feel like I have improved, but I also feel like the fact that I have improved has also kinda shown this game's weaknesses to me more so. When I was younger, I would just say like, oh, I don't like Sonic Advance 2. And, you know, now that I'm a little better, I can also say, I don't like Sonic Advance 2 because it's really just kind of a rude game. It is a game that gives you a really good amount of speed, like, this is actually a bad example right here because we're in a bit of a slower portion, but you've seen previous zones, and, you know, even playing as Tails I was going pretty quickly. When this game feels good, it feels great. I have no complaints about it when it's not screwing you over. However, if there's one thing it likes to do, it is surprise you when you're having fun. Like, there are so many opportunities where you'll just be running along, you'll hit a jump and you'll feel really cool, and then whoops, there was just an enemy up there, and oh, you did a trick so you're not actually in ball form, so... shrug. You just get hit. Or there's spikes, you know, either right at the platform or even above. So again, if you do a jump too quickly, you just launch yourself into spikes. I think this is one of those things that Sonic Advance 2 SP wants to address. Again, I cannot say I know exactly the changes it makes, because, you know, I played mostly vanilla, but with a lowered SP ring rate, and that was good enough for me to kind of enjoy myself a little more, not have to stress about the things this game throws at you quite as much. But yeah, I believe that is one of the things the game tries to address, because at times it very much feels like Sonic Advance 2 hates it when you have fun. Like, maybe some people might think that Sonic Rush is a little too easy, but I feel like they ambush you less in Rush, and they also give you more tools to deal with things. I know Boost to Win is a thing people don't exactly enjoy, but like, I don't know, it was kinda good to just have an instantaneous way to deal with an enemy, going at the speeds you go in that game. I guess in fairness that's also what the spin dash and the roll's supposed to do, but I don't know, something just clicks better with me when you can just press a button to kinda deal with things that take you by surprise. But yeah, Sonic Advance 2 really doesn't have that. You definitely don't want to use Sonic's B button command. The slide is not good. It doesn't help. It's better to just roll, or alternatively just not get into situations in the first place. Which is, I guess, against the spirit of the Sonic X intro. You know, I think I'm supposed to get myself in situations and stuck in new locations without any explanation, or time for relaxation. But yeah, no, I think even if I am better at this game, that's kinda just exacerbated the flaws more in my mind. Sonic Advance 2 does just kinda hate it when you have fun, but if you really like being interrupted when you're having a good time, maybe you will like Sonic Advance 2. You know, if you're just really into edging, it might be up your alley. Anyway though, speaking of things that are up people's alley, this boss isn't up anyone's alley. Even if you're playing as Cream, which I am, this guy sucks. It's just the landmass you have to deal with and the way the bombs fall. There's just something about the way momentum works in this game that sucks to have to deal with these bombs. Like, I do actively need to fly, or I'm probably going to run into something. And yeah, no, Cream's better for this boss, of course, because otherwise you have to deal with jumping onto that platform that isn't always available. Yeah, I easy moded this boss, but if you want to look up what this looks like for every other character, I do have the non-com runs, so you can look that up if you'd like. Either way, though, we're done with Ice Paradise. Next time, we may be going upwards, but we're surely not going to heaven.